We are back at it with another episode of Fourth and Fantasy. I am Honcho. This is my guy.
Siriaco, call me Rocco. Man, we are trash
We
today.
are with it, man. How you feeling, my G?
I'm feeling terrible. I'm learning of all these injuries right before we go live, and yeah, it's bad out here. It's
It's
officially week 14.
yeah, it's
I
looking a
feel
little.
I feel pretty screwed in at least 3 leagues, at least,
Why does it feel like
maybe
this
more.
type of this at this point of the season? This is when the bullshit starts to happen. This is when you gotta pivot. Like guys, when we say we got to be out of here at 12:45 today, we today is double that. We
Yeah,
gotta. There's a couple
y'all,
teams I gotta pivot on.
y'all can hit me up on Discord, and hopefully I get back to you before the games kick off. But yeah, I feel terrible today. All of these late sits, a couple questionable, highly questionable wide receiver stud rookies. Oh man, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But how life's treating
Pretty
you today?
bad. But let's get started. We won't waste no time. We get right into it. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. As always, follow us on Blue Sky. We are there. We are giving content. We had a little slow week this past week, just kind of busy. But back at it, back on. And catch us on there as we get back to it. But I'll leave that there. Let's hop into our first topic, my
Let's
G.
go. Let's go.
Thursday night football, Packers versus Lions. Somebody gave us an egg. Someone gave us a dud. I think overall it was a high scoring game, but it's I think it's kind of revealed or gave a little bit of insight on a couple players of how if you have them on your roster, you might feel a little weary going forward. That person I'm talking about is Jaden Mother effing Reed. And first up, before I get into him, the game was 31-34 with the Detroit Lions coming on top. Man, Jaden Reed though gave an egg 0 for 0, no point performance. Rocco, how do you feel? How are your shares of Reed looking like this season?
Oh man, all of those teams suddenly went from being projected to win to being projected to lose. So yeah, he did nothing to help me um, this past Thursday. Um, it's I think it's the team construct at this point. We knew coming into the year that this team had a lot of good receivers. What we weren't prepared for was the fact that this team would turn into a run all the time team. So even uh, that receiving share that was there last year with Love breaking out in a big time way, that just that passing raw yardage and numbers is not there this year, and that's pretty much sucked all of the upside out of Jaden Reed. Um, he's an explosive playmaker, but he made no plays. So um, I'd be weary about playing him going forward. Um, yeah,
It's,
he's the type of guy that's going to blow up on your bench as soon as you sit him.
it,
And,
it
and, and
always
that's
works out like that, don't it?
and,
Because
and that's the problem with that type of player. Hopefully, you're not counting on him as your wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3. I You probably don't have a better flex than him if you're flexing him weekly. So I have to keep starting him, but I'm not going to feel good about it. And he's the type of guy you're happy when he does something, but you can pretty much expect the floor to be zero at any given week.
yeah, listen, brother. When Jordan Love is only throwing the ball 20 times, and then you get Josh Jacobs, and let me not get this out the way. I have Josh Jacobs on plenty of teams, and he looked beautifully this week.
Hmm.
But he went for 18 carries for 66 yards, and he had 3 touchdowns and only had 24, I believe, 24 fantasy points. So when, like I said, Jordan Love only threw the ball 20 times. That's not enough chicken to go around. That's not enough piece of the pie. You know, true. Christian Watson, random game, went for 4 catches and 114 receiving yards. Like, it's crazy. It's so Jaden Reed was always the guy that, he gets touches in many ways. He gets the rushes.
Hmm.
He's the person that you give the screens to. He's the person that you do the gadget plays with. So I think going forward, if the Packers really do want to be better or just be okay with the playoffs right around the corner, I think they're going to need to figure out how to get Jada Reed the ball. And I would also say this might potentially be a good buy low on Jaden Reed. You know how people feel when a player
Hmm.
gives a 0 8. And listen, we can deal with the 4 point, the 5 point, 6 point, something, right? You lay an egg at where you probably drafted Jaden Reed at, and you're saying, "Yo, what is going on? What is this?" So I don't know. If I'm somebody who's rebuilding, and someone's looking to come off of Jaden Reed for potentially something, I would be looking that way. But that's how and then on the other side of the ball, you had the Lions who threw the ball 41 times, and it seemed like not one star had a really big day. Jamo had the most receiving yards on the day at 80 yards, had 5 catches. Sam Laporta had 5 catches, 54 yards. But the most random person who I'm sure nobody, and if you did, I want to see it. I want to see it. Who had Tim Patrick in the lineup to go for 2 touchdowns off the rando? It's crazy. While I'm on St. Brown, only had 5 catches, 43 yards. It's crazy. I don't know if the Lions' offense is one of the most hardest ones next to the Ravens to predict who's going to get the ball that week because they're very run centric. Jamar Gibbs 15 carries, David Montgomery 14 carries. How do you feel about that offense in Detroit, Rocco?
Um, I feel like I've been pretty disappointed in in the numbers amassed by Amon Ra this year, by Sam Laporta. But there's a good reason for it. That team has fully committed into being the best running team in the league, or at least have the best running duo in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Baltimore, yeah, I'm not looking at the number right now, but Baltimore's probably still number one in rushing, just because their quarterback also runs for like 800 yards. But yeah, they've committed to definitely being a top running team, and that just squeezes just like Green Bay on the other side of the field. Just like Green Bay, it just squeezes some juice out of the passing game. Also, with Jamison Williams breaking out this year, that also squeezed some of the passing statistics out of some of those other guys. Laporta came into the year injured, so that's part of the reason as well. But Amon Ra just is not going to get the 160, 200 targets seasons anymore because he has a lot more to contend with, and this is all on top of that team becoming a much better defensive team. So there's a bunch of real life reasons for Amon Ra not being the player he was previously. He's not going to hit 1,500 yards this year. Hopefully, he can get back to those type of numbers, but it just doesn't seem like it's going to happen this year, just because of the team, um, that the Lions have become. And this was a game where you would think Amon Ra would thrive because the other team scored a lot of points as well. So uh, Detroit had to put up some points, and Amon Ra still didn't show up. And this team is just all about spreading the ball around. Tim Patrick, he was a good player in Denver, so he's just another guy that's going to command some targets, away from Laporta and Amon Ra. So Amon Ra might, he's always capable of putting up that ceiling game, but
You
he's
want
not doing it every week anymore.
you want to hear so on the season? Mine is wide receiver two. Well, that's the most quiet wide receiver two I've probably experienced. And then on top of that, just when we're just talking about the Ravens have more rushing yards than the
Hmm.
Detroit Lions, but they've also ran the ball 41 more times than the
Hmm.
Detroit Lions.
And I'll
The
say
Ravens
this.
have go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
No,
no, do
I'll
you then?
say this. Amon-Ra only has 300-yard games on the season, so that kind of lets you know about the ceiling that he's had previously, where he was getting you damn near 100 yards every year. What's propped him up, is his touchdowns, which he has 9 of so far this year.
Yep,
But that
yep.
those 120 plus catch seasons and 1,500 yards, that's just not going to happen this year.
Yeah, I believe he went looking like he went 8 straight games scoring the touchdown, and then looks like that second game of the season where he had 18 targets, but lately he's only had 6 targets, 7 targets, 7 targets in the last 3 games. So I mean, it's hard. Once again, it's hard to get a good feel on that Detroit Lions offense of who will start getting that ball or who's going to be that main guy that day, especially when they want to run the ball. But yeah, that's the recap of Thursday night. I personally didn't want the Lions to win, but I love it for Detroit and the city that in the past y'all had to go through all that those tough days. Shout out to my boy Matthew Stafford. He tried to bring y'all to the holy grounds, but now y'all are, I believe, was it 11-1 at this point, 12-1, 11-1, something like that. So shout out to the Detroit. Our next topic, we're gonna have Rocco. Rocco rank the top 10 dynasty quarterbacks. And let me share my screen because I found this.
I like this. I like this.
Oh, I keep this. Let me share my screen. I get to drop and drag these lineups.
All right. So we're gonna start from the bottom, and then we're gonna work our way up. Mm. So this is the top 10 you have here are the preloaded top 10.
Yep, this is how it came. I didn't do this. This is how. Let me.
Okay. Let's see.
So there's guys
Mm,
that should be in this top 10 that could be in down here. So
yeah, and this is our dynasty rankings, correct?
yep, this is Dynasty, and know what? And to make it even more fun, let's go let's go Superflex.
Superflex dynasty. Okay, that's
Mm.
that's the way I play, so that's the way I would think about it. So at number 10, um, he hasn't had the season that I would have hoped for, but he still has weak winning upside, and he is a true Konami code passing and running quarterback. Let me go at number 10 with Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray moves to that 10th spot.
All right, and I have another um, rushing, passing phenom who's still in his rookie season. Um, the only thing that worries me is he took a hit to the ribs, and it limited his play. Although he did warrior through the games, he just didn't play as good as he played in the first half of the season. Give me Jaden Daniels at number 9.
Okay, we're going to go Jaden Daniels. Our first rookie, actually. Where's Mr. Jaden Daniels on here? That is a good one. There we go.
All the way down at 22. Come on, guys.
So
Do
let's
better
go,
with your rankings.
put there. Let's put uh, I have to move. There we go.
All right. And we just did a previous exercise on these rookie quarterbacks. So nothing has happened yet to change my opinion of these guys. Give me Drake May at number 8.
Oh, hold on. I'm not think I'm 100% didn't see this coming, y'all. I did not see. All right, let's put Drake May in that eighth spot. Drake May in the eighth spot. All right.
Make sure I didn't miss anybody here. Um, we're gonna keep it up with the rookie fever. This guy is attached to an offensive genius, and is now a proud owner of what looks like gonna be a complete turnaround winning record, and is also an underrated guy who can use his legs and his arm to win games. Give me number 7, Bo. We're at 6.
Yup,
Bo
six.
Nix.
Bo Nix. What is it? That would be yes, Bo Nix.
All right. Um, this
So
guy
we have
is.
so far
Go
we
ahead.
have number 10, Kyler Murray. We have 9, Jaden Daniels. We have at 8, Drake May. And at 7, we have Bo Nix. Woof! This boy Rocco, he's starting the day choosing violence.
Am I too hot taking here? Give me all the rookies. But that's the last rookie I'll talk about so far
Mm,
here. Um, so at number 5, give me the goat. I know he's been disappointing for 2 years in a row, but give that man some weapons and he'll get right back near the top. He's pushing 30, but um, he's still the goat in real life, and I think at some point his numbers will reappear as quickly as they disappeared. Give me the goat.
Patrick,
I can never drop him down too far.
Patrick Mahomes. We got. Where did he go? I just feel like I just dropped somebody out of here on accident. So we had Kyler Murray, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Bo
Did,
Nix, and
did I did I drop did I drop somebody out that needs to be in there?
oh
Maybe
no,
so.
okay, I see it. CJ Stroud. He just came out, but you can keep going.
I'll keep going.
Yeah, keep going.
Getting squeezed here. Let's see. So we are at number 5. So let me go with uh,
Hmm.
hmm,
Yeah, it's getting a little hard now, huh? Yes, sir.
yeah, it's getting hard. Give me a guy that I think is one of the most naturally talented guys in the league. He's finally got himself a legit coach.
Mm,
They're not passing the ball a lot, but he's still being highly efficient and throwing for touchdowns. And he's unveiled his legs this year, which he hasn't done as much previously. Give me Justin Herbert at
Justin
number
Herbie, that
5.
boy at he at number 5.
All right, so we are into the top 4.
Got four
Um,
QBs in Dynasty.
okay, so give me probably the most talented thrower of the football.
Definitely ain't
A
Jalen
guy
Hurts.
whose team a guy whose team can't win, which kind of sucks for teams and fans in Ohio. But a guy who's having probably his best passing year of his career.
Mm,
Give me at number 4.
mm-hmm.
Give me Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow. Yes, sir. At number 4. Somebody.
Oh, I see what happened. Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry, CJ, but your year didn't. It's not. It's not what I like to see in a second year. You're gonna have to come back next year to get back on this top 10 list.
we ordered it. Hold on. Hot take: CJ Stroud is not.
He's
CJ
not on
Stroud.
my top 10. No, he's not.
Oh snap!
No, I'm not liking what I'm seeing from him. He can always jump back, but snap judgment right now, all of these guys have more value for me.
Okay. Well, I just gotta be moving these guys out the way so it stays current. So right now we have, to recap, 10 Murray, 9 Daniels, 8 May, 7 Bo, 6 Mahomes, 5 Burrow, 4 Justin Herbert. Who's at number 3?
Number three, now this is where it gets tough because all three of these guys can win you your league. All three of them have the Konami upside of being elite runners with the football that can score touchdowns through the air or on the ground. But at number three, just because I think the other two are better real life quarterbacks than he is,
Mm.
even though this guy has won me multiple championships, he can score three touchdowns on the ground with the most
Oh,
unstoppable
okay.
play in
I already know who
football.
you gonna say. I already know who the hell you gonna
Number three is Jalen Hurts. Keep it like it is. You have it perfectly.
say.
Number two, who is currently my MVP. Sorry, Saquon. When Lamar doesn't play well, it's just another quarterback that moves up. Currently, my MVP at number two,
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen, who last week threw himself a touchdown. Threw himself a touchdown, which turned a 10-point deficit into like a 20-point win. So kudos to Josh Allen, man, throwing himself a touchdown.
Shout out to Josh. I used to be the
I didn't.
biggest Josh Allen hater, and I came around on him. Now I have every single orphan team I've taken over that had Josh Allen. I've sold him every single time, just because he's always a good restart builder. No matter what, he's going to be the one that gets you a good restart. So I sell Josh Allen every single time.
And I'll tell you, the one thing that makes me nervous about Josh Allen, nervous to put him up in this, at number two,
Mm-hmm.
even though he's basically another league winner and probably the MVP this year, is he plays so reckless with his body that you eventually you think at some point he's going to run himself into something really bad, but it just hasn't happened yet. So you got to just keep running with him. That's another reason why I think it's smart to sell off of him, because you can get the farm, and everybody in your league will also view him as a top two quarterback in that league. So Josh Allen is my number two, and that leads only one guy, the guy who is the number one player in fantasy right now, a guy who wins you your week damn near every week. He didn't even play good last week and still got you damn near 30 points um,
Mustafa.
against probably the best defense in the NFL. So Lamar Jackson is he's just he's just a highlight film. Like, you can watch him at any time. Watch him stop on a dime and watch people just go past him so he can score a touchdown. It's a play he's been doing since he was in college, probably since he was in grade school. But
He going.
just his natural ability as a rusher. He has the speed, but he also knows how to use his blockers. If he was a running back, he would probably be damn near the best running back in the league. He's a very underrated passer. There's just not enough good things I can say about the guy. He's just an amazing player. Um, you know, if if it wasn't for his defense, he'd probably be the MVP again this year. But the just record won't be able to compete with some of the other MVP candidates. But he's easily the most talented player in the NFL. He's one of the most talented NFL players in the history of the game. He's Michael Vick, but he has actual passing chops. So
Oof.
um, yeah, I mean, there's just not enough good things I could say about the guy. The only
Good.
downside is he's a little bit older than some of these rookies on the, well, obviously older than some of these other younger players on the list, but he's still doing it at such a high level. It's hard to imagine, he'll, drop off anytime soon.
And that is Rocco's 10 Dynasty quarterback,
We're gonna have to
man.
post that
CJ
to Bullseye
Stroud
and
was
let people
not.
yell at me.
CJ Stroud is not on this list. Crazy. It is him.
Hey, he's just not playing like a top 10 dynasty QB right now. It's just nothing I'm seeing watching him. I watch him near weekly, just hoping that it would get better. He's in a lot of primetime games. He made the Jets defense look legit. So I'll just say that, a Jets defense that's given up on the season ever since Robert Saleh got let go. He made those guys look
Mhm.
beastly. So um, CJ Stroud, I traded the farm for you in a league. I want to see you succeed, but you're just not doing it right now. Get
I'm not
better.
mad at it.
Do better. Do
I'm
better.
not
I
mad at the
want to
Rock.
believe. I want to believe. I think you're
Yeah.
one of the best passers of the football, but for whatever reason, it's just not coming to fruition this year. And the downslide for a sophomore player, it's a red flag for me. So um, he's probably in that next group of guys, but he just didn't make my top 10 so far this year.
Listen, you know how I love me a good hot take, damn it. So we gonna keep firing those off. But we have our one of my favorite segments, one of my favorite subject segments of our whole,
I know where
itinerary.
you're going with this.
We're going with Devi, player of the week, and this is what this is probably my hot take of the week, my hot take of probably the off season. But today we're going to be talking about Jalen Royals, wide receiver, Utah State, and he is my wide receiver four. My wide receiver four, and people might call me crazy. The guy that I keep forgetting how to pronounce his name, Amika Akamuka. That's what not
Abuka, Amika Abuka.
no, his last name. I'm just calling him Amika. I like him. He's cool. Don't get me wrong. He's a real
Right,
good guy.
right.
He's doing that in the field. But what I see from Jalen though, Jalen gives me baby Jamar Chase, and the only reason why he's not talked about enough is because he plays for Utah State. But you know what? I'm going to stop talking, and I got a clip for you guys. I'm just gonna have this rolling in the back because I want you all to see how this guy plays, and maybe it's because it's the one on his chest that reminds me of Chase. But Jalen Royals, like I said, is a wide receiver. He's from Utah State. In
I
high
like
school,
that one. I like that. Get off me.
yeah, he's a good boy. He gets dirty now. Now, he was a multi sport athlete out of Hillsgrove High School playing football and basketball, and he also participated in track and field, where he was an all state high jumper and also a successful basketball player. Man, I also did the high jump in high school as a 5'7", a 5'7" guy, and Jalen Worlds is 6 foot, and he was clearing 6'4". I never got damn near any near 6 foot, let alone 5'10". So he clearing 6'4" at 6 foot tells you how athletic he is off the jump in high school he was. So in 2022 he had a redshirt year, but in 2023 he broke onto the scene, played 13 games. He went for 71 catches, 1,080 receiving yards, and 15 touchdowns, which was a school record, which is still a school record, actually, to point that out. And he had 15.2 yards per catch. That year, he had 7 touchdowns of 50 plus yards, which also led the nation. A couple big games he had were versus UConn. He went for 7 catches, 185 yards, receiving yards, 3 touchdowns. Against Colorado State, 6 catches, 140 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. Fresno State, 7 catches, 125 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. And then Boise State, And we're going to talk about Boise State again for this year because I feel like he got a personal vendetta because he just be spanking Boise State's ass repeatedly. But in 2023, he went for 7 catches, 113 receiving yards, and 1 touchdown. 2024, he has played less games. He stopped after the New Mexico game due to a foot injury.
Well, yeah,
But
foot
in
injury.
a 7 game span, he's had 5 catches, 134 yards, receiving 6 touchdowns. His last 5 games of this year, crazy stats. Crazy stats. Versus Temple, 10 catches, 112 yards, 1 touchdown. Boise State, 9 catches, 211 yards, receiving 2 tutties. UNLV, 10 catches, 155 receiving yards, 1 touchdown. And then against New Mexico, 11 catches, 188 receiving yards, 1 touchdown. Man, was he on a tear. He was, and what I love about this guy, he's 6 foot, 205 pounds. He reminds me, and another reason why he reminds me of Jamar Chase is that he's built like a running back. He has a very solid build. My pros for him, he's an exceptional athlete. He's runs reportedly in the 4.3s. Love him after the catch. He has a lot of shake and bake. He'll make you miss on that first. He doesn't like to go down. He'll make you miss on that first try. Also, which makes him a yak guy. They use him a lot in that screen pass, or in that screen game, a lot of short game where they want to get the ball into his hands fairly quickly. Because when he does, he has that potential to take it to the distance. He's also very great in the vertical game to go along with that 4.3 speed he has. I think he's really good at separating at the top of his route. He's has a nuance. I think he's a nuanced route runner. I think very good playmaker. He could play on the outside, inside. I think where he can make his. I like him more on the outside. He could be a hell of an inside player, but I want to see him in that vertical game on the outside because he can stack those DBs and take it, as we see reportedly on all these highlights we see here. And then the only cons I really have for him is that the level of competition he played against. Utah State doesn't play that hard of opponents.
Hmm.
But he did in those some of those games I did bring up, like Boise State, who went on to win, I believe, 12 games this year. He spanked their ass. He looked the part. And then sometimes he can get in trouble when he's getting pressed in his hand usage. If you get up on him, he's sometimes his physicality throughout getting pressed is inconsistent. And you can see at the catch point, he sometimes is inconsistent on bringing those down. But man, do I love me some Jalen Royals. If it wasn't for the injury, I think he would have had the chance to continue those breakout games that he was having. And this is why he's my wide receiver 4. I know it's a bold take. I know what people are thinking, but this is why he's my wide receiver 4. What are your
Yeah,
thoughts? You got the chance to
that
watch him.
that's really strong, man. I like what I like is I seen he makes really sharp cuts after he catches the ball, which he also displays, in his route running. Um, just amazing athlete. You just see him kind of destroying some guys' angles. Um, he's a little bit more physical than you would associate a guy with the 4.3 wheels. Um, he doesn't always, he's not a guy you can just easily knock off. So he has better contact balance than you would see from a guy with his speed. You think small school, you think he's going to be a smaller guy, but he has, more than enough,
Yeah, I think
more than enough size
yeah,
for his position. The one downside, maybe two downsides I see, like you said, not great competition, and also I seen him against Boise State in particular. He kind of struggled a few times at the catch point, so he would definitely need to get stronger there. I think it may be just a functional strength thing. So get this guy in a weight room, and I think sky's the limit for him.
But
But yeah,
I like me some Royals.
Debbie Player of the Week.
Yeah, he's my dad. Like I said, he's my pet when it comes to, and I hate using this name but he's my most underrated wide receiver going into this draft, and I'm going to be targeting him very heavily if he sleeps. I know he's going to be very much able to get him in a second, and a couple of people I've seen talking about wide receiver prospects in general haven't even had him listed in their top like 10 receivers. If
Hmm.
that is a status quo on Jalen Rose, I promise you I'm gonna be snagging this man wherever I can. He's gonna be Javon Baker to me of this year, where I was just trying to get my every share of Baker. I'm gonna be like this with Royals because I think he can be a star in the NFL if he goes to the right place. And hell, if he doesn't even go to I hate even talking about where people end up because as we saw with Brock Bowers, people hated where he ended up with the Raiders, but he's showing that he is and can produce. So
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
enjoy that man. He's one of my
Fun
favorites.
player, fun player.
All right,
Uh,
and that is
Dead on
our
speed.
Debbie Player of the Week. But we have a few injuries we want to talk about today. Before we get out of here, I know it's about 12:39. We're creeping it up on 12:45. Rocco, can you let the people know of any notable injuries we have today?
We are so
I know we're
fucked.
excuse me, but I was going to say fuck. That is the status.
I am, you know, the injuries are just raw dogging me today. Um, you know, Straight up, it's bad. It's bad. A guy, two guys that people were hoping would lead them to championships down the stretch. Um, who knows? But they're both out. Brees Hall is out. Ken Walker the third is out, and that really freaking sucks because I have at least two teams where I have both. So those guys are out. They're not going to help you today. Hopefully you have some replacements to go because those two hurt really bad.
Listen, with
Also,
Brees Hall being out, I saw a lot of if he's on your waivers, go pick up you Isaiah Davis. I see him on waivers quite a bit, and I've been trying to snag him, add him everywhere. Because what I've seen with Brees Hall is he's going to get hurt, no matter what time of the season it is. He's going to get hurt. Picked him everywhere.
yeah, yeah. Braylon Allen is probably rostered in all but the shallowest of bench leagues, so he's worth a speculative ad. Isaiah Davis. Shit, you may have to start him with the crap that's going on down today. Also, a guy that I didn't even realize was hurt, George Pickens. He intended to play today, but the coaching staff said we're winning. You sit down with your hammy, which probably is the good real
Smart,
life move.
smart.
But yeah, whoever has him is probably you're not going to have many options to replace him. Um, is there anybody on that team that's worth? I mean, Mike Williams. Could Mike
I
Williams be a
mean,
thing today?
that was very much. I know a reporter literally asked Mike Tomlin about that last week, where they were like, "When do you expect Mike Williams to start getting involved in the offense? Could this be the week?" Ooh, Calvin Austin. He's had a couple of underrated games this week.
He got hurt in that last game. Is he?
Shit, what do we do? Fuck, yeah, we're fucked. But that's the status.
I don't have any Calvin Austin. I'm furiously googling to see if he's playing, and
Goodness
I
gracious,
have
man.
no.
What?
It looks like he's playing.
Put
So,
me. Put me in the
smoke him if you
lineup.
got him.
If you need, put me in the lineup. Damn it! I'll throw it on the
Smoke
field.
him if you got him. You're Calvin Austin because there's not very many options here, and two guys who may hurt you even worse because these are two of the studliest rookie wide receivers the game has produced this year. And no, Marvin Harrison Jr. looks like he's healthy, so it's not him. Um, do better. So yeah, we may be without Lad McConkey, but who also plays in the primetime game. So you may have no. You're probably not going to have any signal before that game. So have a replacement for him. Good luck with that. I don't know. I mean,
Listen,
Johnson, can he do a thing?
if your league
Probably not.
has auto subs, make sure you using them hoes today. You
Auto
need
subs. I don't know
you
if I
need to
can
be
figure out how to do that in 18 minutes, but maybe.
you need to be on auto sub galore this today if you're not using
but
auto subs.
but most people don't have the auto sub for people that have already played. It's only for people that play after.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably not going to help most people because um, you know most leagues were up in arms when this thing came out. They didn't. Most people didn't like it. So there was the it has to be afterwards. You can't retroactively put a guy in that's already played. So have a replacement. If you have somebody that can play, you may want to just put him in, just because we're probably not going to know until maybe 3, 4 o'clock, and by then it's too late. The other guy, stud rookie, that is trying to play, and I hate that term, trying to play, testing it out before the game. I don't have any news on it as of yet, but it looks like he's going to try to give it a go, which can be try to play, suit up, and come out after the first series because you just couldn't make it. Malik Neighbors is very iffy today, so you may want to take a look at that and see if he's a guy that you trust to play. He might be your only option, so you may just have to roll with him. But I would be looking heavily at replacements.
Listen, Rashawn Johnson's out today, if you didn't say. And Travis Homer, if he's still on your waivers, go pick him up. You stole him from
Wi-
me. You
he's
get
widely
you,
available.
you goddamn stole Rocco beat in our Super Friends league. Beat me by $1 fab.
Is that the one where I went 7 and you went
Yes,
6?
I went yes.
You only had fucking $6, so I knew my winning bid. I knew what I had to put up. You telegraphed
It
it. I said
pissed
I knew.
me the
I
hell
said I
off.
bet Honcho's gonna put up $6, which he only has $6. I put up 7.
Shit pissed
That's
me
the
the
one
hell
of the
off.
few leagues where I saved my money.
I looked
It's
at it, I
like
was
one of
like,
the only leagues.
I said, ain't no fucking way. Uh,
Strategy.
Shout out to boy Rocco, but we are at 12:45.
Gotta
Like
go. Gotta
always,
go.
we're gonna go ahead and set these lineups, especially today, man, because it is a crazy time to be
Most
alive,
people.
to be a fantasy manager. But we will be back Wednesday at 9 p.m. Central, 10 o'clock Eastern, bringing y'all the vibes, bringing y'all some more fourth in fantasy, man. Thank y'all as always. Rocco, my brother, as always, it's always love.
Absolutely good one, man. I enjoyed it. I might not enjoy this Sunday of football because my teams are screwed, but
Oh, we're gonna be
I'm back
drinking.
here to talk all about it.
Yeah, we're gonna be drinking, my G. I'm going to go have a glass right now. All right, everybody, enjoy your day. Hey, listen, let us know how y'all if y'all get some wins, some W's, but we're gonna be all right. Off to the playoffs next week. It's time. Oh yeah,
Let's
baby.
go.